Hi, good morning. This is Chris Beckman. I'm the corporate chaplain for Ebenezer, and you're tuning in to a series of reflections and devotions that we've been creating during this time of the pandemic. We've also been creating a worship service that's been coming out at 8 o'clock every Sunday morning. We hope you've been enjoying these devotions, which are coming out Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, and hope you're liking the worship services as well. Today's devotion is number 17 in our series, and I've called it The God of Small Things. The God of Small Things. You know, it doesn't take much to look through Scripture and to notice that God seems to have an affinity for the smallest of things. God cares about the lost sheep or the lilies of the field. God cares about the mustard seed. And according to Scripture, God knows every hair and has them counted on the top of our heads. For some of us, like me, that my counting might be a little easier. But the point is that we have a God who cares about the smallest thing, the littlest thing, and especially those that are lost. God does not lose a single hair on our head or a single sheep in the pasture, and cares about all the lilies of the field. Another way of saying that is that even the smallest of things can be considered a gift in our life and world. One of the ones that I found recently was someone actually gave me a gift that had been sitting in his office since 2012. You see, in 2012, Ebenezer, of which you are a part, making up the 100 communities that make up Ebenezer, sent out gift boxes, and I'm not sure who they were sent to, but it was 2012, and it was the first year that I became a chaplain for Ebenezer. And I love the box. I love things that are tied up in brown paper or just a simple cardboard box. In fact, the box alone is enough for me to get excited. But inside the box was also this lovely handmade card. And then most importantly was a stone. And engraved on the stone is the word Ebenezer. And of course our E logo with the cross in it. And those of you who know your biblical tradition and know the story of Ebenezer know that Ebenezer is actually two Hebrew words. It means stone of help. So someone gave me this lovely gift the other day. And it was this most beautiful gift in this most lovely package. And I found it to be the most thoughtful moment in my day. You see, part of the wisdom, dear friends, is that we all are going through a lot of stuff right now. We are going through stressors and difficulties. We're isolated. We can't do nearly the things that we want normally to do. We can't reach out as easily to family and friends or go shopping. We can't do the things that feed our hearts and souls. We can't even go to church. And yet we continue to work on and struggle on. And sometimes, I know I myself have gotten this, we reach our limits. Even though we are the hardiest of people, we are the best of caregivers. For heaven's sakes, in our communities, we deal with flu and the norovirus every year. Our staff are tough-minded. Our residents are hardy. And we have lived through lots in our lives. But I don't know about you, but this has really pushed me beyond ways that I knew possible. One of my wisdoms to share with you today is to focus on the little things in your life. The little gifts that are all around you each and every day. You see, part of what I've learned in my journey of life is that I can take a lot of garbage in my life. I have a high tolerance for pain. I'm used to struggling and working all the time. And when I reach my limit, I get a little scared because my limit is pretty high. And I'm worried that I'm going to crack and fall apart. What I have discovered is that because I've done this so long, and because I've worked through so many things and encountered so many things in my life, that it doesn't take me much, once I've reached my limit, to get back in order again. In fact, when the person gave me this little gift box, I was having a lousy day. I had been talking too much. I had been trying to keep my head straight. I had been running all over to communities, and I was at my limit. And frankly, I was about ready to lash out at someone. And then he gave me this little box, this lovely gift. I was thrilled with the box alone, not to mention that there was a beautiful hand-carved stone in the box and a card to go with it. And that little gift, that little token, was enough to put me back into my regular space again. You see, part of the journey, I think, dear friends, is we don't want to fall apart during this time. You see, if we crack in half, it takes a lot more that's going to put us back together. Instead, if we can recognize that we have really lost it, we've really yelled at our kids, or we yelled at a coworker, or we threw the coffee cup against the wall, we've reached our limit. But it doesn't mean that we need to go to the hospital. It means that maybe look around and find the small little token somewhere in your house, in your car, around you, that will just help you to grab hold of it a little bit. And that might be enough to bring you back into yourself again. All it took was a cardboard box for me to bring me back. Maybe you have a picture in your house that reminds you of someone you love. Or some tchotchke that if someone else saw it, they'd say, throw that thing away. Maybe it's your thimble collection, or your bells that you collected, or a teaspoon, or prayer beads, or a certain biblical passage that you have pinned to the wall. You see, friends, it doesn't take much. We don't need to go to the mountain with Moses to see God in the burning bush to get us back into a regular place again. Sometimes a cardboard box, or the rosary beads, or a flower in a vase, or seeing the stamp on an envelope from someone we love is enough to bring us back into our place where we can function again and return to friendliness and kindness and good work. Don't beat yourself up for getting to your limit. We all do. I can't tell you how many times I say to myself, I'm a good parent with my kids about 90% of the time, but it's that 10% where I start yelling, would you just get in the car? That makes me feel bad about myself and myself as a parent. But we have this ability to circle back, to say I'm sorry, or to see a little bit of a thing that can bring us back. The lilies of the field, the hairs on our head, the lost sheep. You see, God doesn't lose anything. Every little bit can be a gift of life. So look around your house, in your car. Look for something that will remind you of better times and give you that little bit to restore you back to wellness. Thanks for listening, and blessings on the journey ahead. Bye.